So as an individual, you're fulfilling your EMIs. Okay, your earnings are dipping, the social support system isn't growing, and you feel alone. You feel like as if all the walls are closing in, right? So many times you take 3 steps forward, and something or the other pulls you back by more than 3 steps. You're overwhelmed by all of these things that is happening in your life, and you want it all to go away. Okay, and your dominant emotions at any point in time are either frustration or irritation or anger. So in a situation like this, I mean, how do you actually get out of it, and what do you need to really do as an individual to get out of it?
Okay. So, uh, as you may know, the frustration, irritation, anger are normal human emotions.
Right.
If you were to ask me, because every human being can get into the mode of getting overwhelmed with a feeling of frustration or irritation or anger. Though these are labeled as negative emotions, but these are normal human emotions usually. So we often feel, a lot of people, and we often feel angry whenever our goals are thwarted or when we pursue that, when we realize that we do not have a control over what is happening. Correct? And the things are not moving the way that I have expected. Correct? And understand others are probably, I am perceiving that others are taking advantage, of me. Correct? So if I go through certain perception like that, obviously there will be frustration and irritation and anger. But the situation, what you explained, is a realistic scenario where there is, though you are paying the EMI, that's a good thing. Though your pink slip is looming, but still you are paying the EMI.
Right.
So that's a good thing. So you should be very happy about it. But nevertheless, the negative emotions are creeping in without, you being inviting, you are not inviting it. But it is involuntary emotions. They are involuntary. For the first thing I would request people, to address this is a little more, professionally or scientifically, is that first thing a person can accept that, to recognize that and accept that these are feelings which I am having. Most of the time we are taught to deny that I am unhappy. You cannot express that you are unhappy to somebody, because behind that, parents are, since our childhood, we have been taught not to cry, not to show your frustration and anger, no expression. You are not supposed to express. So I think we have been bottling it up for decades. Then after that, once it is going to, like a volcano, it is going to burst. Right. So the one in an adult or anybody for that matter, the first thing for them is to accept that I am feeling frustrated. I'm feeling irritated, I am irritated. Yeah. So I am angry on something. So to address that is acceptance of these negative emotions. That's the first thing. The second thing is that probably you can explore what are my thoughts or the beliefs or my assumptions that are precipitating or perpetuating my negative emotions.
Okay.
So what is that I am perceiving or my thoughts or the belief which is making me to feel much more frustrated or irritated or to get angry? So in your case, you said there are so many things this person is trying to juggle between.
Right. Right.
So, n number of demands of life. I think the first one, probably I would request this person probably to dissect or prioritize what to address first. Correct? So when it is overwhelming, it is better to, make sure that you take one thing at a time. So that itself probably would diminish the negative emotional experience of that particular individual at that time. Because when you are overwhelmed, when you are experiencing overwhelming emotions or negative emotions, your cognitive process are going to get jeopardized.
Right.
Your decision making is going to really get a hit. So it won't be much more logical or rational or realistic when you're emotionally overwhelmed. So how to address is that, okay, can I take one thing at a time to begin with and identify what is making me, what are my beliefs related to these events? What is making me to really get annoyed, correct? What is making me to really get irritable? And what is keeping this anger going?
Right.
So if you're able to identify with the help of you or with somebody else, I think that's the first step that you can think of. So, and some people have these issues when they lack assertiveness, okay, and sometimes probably they need to forgive themselves and others, correct?
Right.
And yet another would be factor would be probably precipitating or perpetuating is unrealistic expectation from the self, from my end, my own end. If I'm unrealistic about a lot of things, I think that is going to really, perpetuate the issues which are already there.
Right. Right.
Correct?
I get it.
So I think if they are able to understand these areas and work through it, I think a lot more peace they could really eventually gain.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.